to the special effects show here at Universal Studios Hollywood. My name is Mike, and today we're going to give you guys a behind-the-scenes look at how we create movie magic. Now, as you might know, the word movie is a nickname for motion picture, and in the earliest days of filmmaking, it must have truly seemed like magic. In the late 1800s, the Pettibone Brothers Manufacturing Company produced magic lanterns like this, which were widely used by traveling showmen to project images onto white backdrops. Now just imagine for a moment what that might have been like. You're sitting in a darkened tent, when suddenly the white backdrop was revealed, and a single image appeared. Then, when viewed in the right order, in the right light, and at the right speed, those images seem to come to life to create a magical new world. On this very location for over 100 years. And in that time, we've gone on to produce some of the most memorable film moments in Hollywood history.
Hold on to your butts. My co-host, Brandon!
Hey, alright, thanks everybody. From the beginning, the basic concept of the filmmaking process has stayed the same, and that is to make you, the audience, believe that everything you see is real.
That's right, now today's filmmakers have more tools than ever before. High-tech cameras, super fast computers, but they still rely on a category of effects that are so distinctive they're called special.
So the earliest special effects are called practical effects, which are done right on set and right in front of the camera. And our first example of practical effects is models. Universal's 1933 film The Mummy used miniature effects, scale models, the little guys you see right there in that title sequence. Now, you can tell that those are models because the actual pyramids don't have giant letters on them. Universal relaunched The Mummy some years later using this. Now, if you came here today hoping to see a movie star, take a look right here. Because this is the actual model they used when they made that film. And the detail on this thing is pretty incredible, which is proof that models, they're still a great way to fool the camera. Right, Mike?
Absolutely. Another technique which also fools the camera is the glass mat. In the terrifying film The Birds, the brilliant Alfred Hitchcock had matte paintings created to help achieve the eerie vision that he wanted for the town of Bodega Bay. Take a look at our side screens. Now in that literal bird's eye view of the town, only the parking lot and the fire were real. Everything else was painted on glass to create a mat and dropped in. They then incorporated the footage of the birds, and that helped to complete the effect.
And that gives you two examples of practical effects, the models and the glass mat.
Right, but there is another type of practical effect, and this one involves performers, not just props. Practical stunts. Somebody say stunts. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our special effects show stunt department.
Yeah! Now that's how you do it right there. You come flying down on that side and come zipping down over here. Next thing you know, boom, two stunt guys. Why don't we get an entrance like that?
Because we're wearing nice pants. You might not recognize their faces, but you have definitely seen their work in numerous film and television productions. And a lot of times, these guys that you see right here, they will work as stunt doubles for some of your favorite stars. Let me take a moment really quick to introduce everyone. Right here on this side, we have Josh Murillo, this is Jay Huerto, and our stunt coordinator, Brock Markham. Welcome, guys. Fellas, real quick, like I got here, would you say almost always stunt performers like yourselves will double for actors during fight scenes?
Oh, absolutely. Most actors do not like getting kicked in the face.
Kicked in the face?
Yeah, like this.
Oh! Ooh! Jay, you okay, buddy? Hey.
Stunts.
Okay, you guys want to get set up? When it comes to staging a fight scene, the art of illusion is incredibly important. Everything has to be as realistic as possible to fool the camera without anyone getting injured. And it's up to a stunt team to make all of that look believable. Let me set the scene for them. We have an exterior, dark alley, dead of night, and a couple of very nefarious characters are lurking about. Ready, and action!
Hey, where you going now? Which one's up?
This is nothing our friends in the audience should be trying at home, right?
That is correct, Chris.
I think he's here. See you guys when I'm finished. Did you hear all the sound effects that were just added to that fight scene? The dynamic punches, being smashed into the dumpster. There's actually a technical term for adding those sound effects. And Brandon, what is it?
It's called Foley. Now, Foley is the process of adding sound effects to a film once it's already been shot. But where does that name come from? Well, I'm here to tell you. This guy right here, this is Jack Foley. He did a little bit of everything. He was a writer, a director, even did stunts. But it wasn't until the 20s when he started doing sound effects for Universal before he really started to make a name for himself. In fact, he worked for 30 years right here on Soundstage 10 on this lot. And if there was a sound he couldn't recreate on his stage, he would just go out and get it. Now, back then they used a technique called direct-to-picture, where Foley and his crew would add sound effects to an already finished film. And they did it in one take. So the timing had to be perfect, because one mistake meant they had to start all over at the very beginning. And to give us a taste of what that's like, we've got ourselves some audience volunteers.
Let's hear it for the Davidson family all the way from Vancouver.
Yeah! Come on, let them hear it. Vancouver. That is a really long walk. Okay, this is our Foley stage where they're going to get a chance to show you how the things on this cart can be repurposed to sound completely different than what you might think. Like this water bottle. This is also used to make the sound of a bone break. Check it out. Yeah, kids, don't do that at home. Do it at school. Much bigger impact. All right, we're going to take a look at a clip from Identity Thief that stars Melissa McCarthy and Jason Bateman alongside another clip of the real Foley team when they were working on that movie. Let's take a look at some Foley masters.
Fireworks land.
Well, that looked easy, didn't it? Now, they used some pretty fun toys to make those sound effects, and these guys are going to get a chance to do the same thing. Let's take a look at some of the toys. This is called a crash box. Inside are metal objects, and when you turn it back and forth, it makes a big crash sound. Normally, these are going to be used for running down the hallway. These are shoes with foam and sticks on the end, and when you tap it on a carpeted surface, it sounds like someone's running down a hall. This is paper rolled up real tight with tape on the outside. You slam it against the butcher block, and it sounds like someone's hit the ground. Boxing gloves, slap and punch these. It's like a punch or a slap to the face. We got a cowbell and a little stick here for a nice surprise ending, and then all the way down here on the end, we've got handcuffs. Now, those make the sound of handcuffs. All right, you guys ready? Family's ready, booth is ready, let's roll that sound. Here we go, and action.
Yo sé, pero se me olvidó. Se me olvidó.
watch what happens when we add back in the dialogue, the soundtrack, and the Foley track that we just recorded them doing. You guys want to see some new sound effects? All right, plug in the new sound effects. Let's take a look at a brand new scene that they just created. Take a look, guys.
Get over here and give me your ribs. Okay? Now I have a plan.
Sandy,
Hollywood's newest Foley team, everybody. Let them hear it. Check it out, guys.
The Universal has made great films in every genre, but the studio has really made their mark over the decades by producing some of the industry's most memorable thriller and horror films. Let's take a look. Special horror effects. Emerging now from the shadows, I'm being joined on stage by some of the classic Universal monsters. We have what are called maquettes of Dracula, Michael Myers, Chucky and his bride, Imhotep the Mummy, Phantom of the Opera, and in the end, that is Mother Bates. It is the perfect setting for our next demonstration.
Everybody say hi, Hillary!
Welcome. Now, our precautionary shows because I was told is a very impressive scream. So, let us say that you are, okay, how about this? You're staying at the Bates Motel. It's a dark and stormy night. Norman Bates jumps out at you with a giant knife. How would you scream?
Oh,
perfect,
wow.
yes.
You were gonna die.
Yeah, very quickly. You did see the fight scene, right? Those stunt guys have an incredibly high pain threshold. The real question is, though, do you?
Well, do you?
Because our next demonstration involves movie blood. So does anyone out in the audience know what Alfred Hitchcock used for blood in his film Psycho? Just shout it out if you do. Very good. Chocolate syrup. Excellent.
That's right, but that was a black and white film, so they could get away with using chocolate syrup for blood. But these days, movie blood has to look a lot more realistic.
Yes, it does. So thank you for lending us a hand.
Literally. All right, now kids, do not try this at home.
Try it at a friend's house.
That's good advice. All right, let's see this arm. You don't want that one, do you? All right, we go. Dibs on the bracelet.
1, 2, 3. Oh, what?
You're freaking her out,
I
man.
know about it. Oh, we're
Okay,
gonna touch
do
her
that.
off with this thing. Come on now. I'm gonna use this knife right here. It's a lot sharper.
That's better.
Put that hand back there. I want to take a look at the side screens. You start screaming when you feel the pain. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And she's okay. This right here is a classic cinematic horror technique called a Hollywood blood knife. This is a fake blade. That cutout fits over her arm, and in the handle, we hide a pump full of movie blood. Let's hear it